So where do we take it next? Well, next up in OS X is Lion, a major release with over 250 new features. And if you'd like, we can go through every one of them today. Yes. Well, I'd love to. I'm told I only have enough time to tell you about 10 key new features. So we'll really get into 10 awesome features. First up, right into it. Number 1, multi-touch gestures. One of the great things about the Mac from the beginning was that it ushered an era of a graphic user interface with a mouse and clicking and dragging. But so much has changed over the last 10 years. We now build multi-touch trackpads into all of our notebooks, and we offer them on our desktops. And we've learned a lot from iOS as well. So now Lion can count on multi-touch. From the beginning, you can have beautiful, fluid, momentum-based scrolling. You can have incredible multi-touch taps to zoom in on stories or pictures. You can dynamically zoom with beautiful, fluid pinch motions. You can swipe through your photographs, your slides, your web pages, all with an incredible physical realism that's never been possible with a PC operating system before. And this has implications across the system in a lot of little important areas. Here's a simple example, the scroll bar. Why do we have scroll bars? Scroll bars were there so you could click with the mouse and drag and scroll. But now if you're pushing your window with multi-touch, you don't need them. They can disappear. You can have a much more beautiful reading environment. But when you go to scroll, they magically appear, give you a sense of place and proportional size, and then disappear when you don't need them. So multi-touch is now built throughout the system in a very powerful way. Number 2, full-screen applications. We've had some full-screen applications before, and these are really important for notebooks, 11-inch and 13-inch, where you want to take advantage of every pixel on the display. But developers have had to work hard to make their applications hand-coded to do full-screen applications, including apps like iPhoto. Well, now with Lion, we've built in a standard method for developers to create full-screen applications. And it has a simple system control in the top right, so all users know where to tap and then bring their applications full screen. But this isn't full screen like it was before, because now you can keep your application running full screen. With a simple swipe gesture, get back to your desktop, get something you need, go back to your application, never having left full screen. In fact, you can have more than one full screen application running at the same time. So we've worked on a number of our applications to bring them into the new full screen mode of Lion. System applications like Safari, Mail, iCal, iLife applications, iPhoto, iMovie, GarageBand, iWork with Keynote and Numbers and Pages, and all these applications going full screen so you have a great experience right out of the box. Here's an example of how it looks. This is now running full screen in Safari. You can have a beautiful place for viewing your documents. And now there's a new feature, since we've got all this extra room on the left-hand side, called the reading list. Keep track of things you want to get to later. Here's iCal running full screen. Here's Preview showing you PDF documents running full screen. So you can just have a beautiful experience like we've never had on a computer before with full screen applications. Next feature. For many users, this will be the best feature of Lion. It's called Mission Control. Now, we all like to run a lot of software. At Apple, we've created many features to help customers find just what they need. Expose for finding a document, Dashboard for getting at a quick widget, Spaces for organizing your work environment, but didn't all work together in one unified way. Well, now with Lion, we've unified that with a simple gesture to get into Mission Control. And this is a bird's eye view of everything going on in your system. On the main window, well, that's the current desktop you're working on, with all the documents now organized by what application is running on them. And you can tap on any document and bring it to the front. That's right there, center for you to work on. Up above are all your spaces. So you can have multiple desktops. You can have multiple full-screen apps running. Get to any one with a single tap. And on the left of those spaces is a new special one just for your dashboard widgets. You can get to, again, with a single tap. So that's Mission Control. And what I'd like to do now is, before we move on, have Craig Federici come up and give you a demo of these 3 new features all working together. Craig?
Hello. Good morning. So let's take a look at Lion in action. And we're going to start with gestures. Great place to experience gestures is here in Safari. The first thing you'll notice, it's apparently something funny, is that how simple this UI looks, because there are no scroll bars. It's a really clean look. We don't need scroll bars anymore because we can simply push the content with our fingers. We can flick and get momentum, get a nice little bounce. The page feels really alive beneath your fingers. You can also expand your fingers and fluidly zoom, just like that. Zoom out, and you get a nice little bounce. Page goes right back into place. If I want to smart zoom, I just double tap with 2 fingers. It smart zooms in, double tap again, smart zooms out. Now, I want to show you something really cool with gestures, and that's how it can navigate in Safari. I'm going to drill into a story, and then after I've read it, I want to actually get back to the previous page. Well, now I can just take 2 fingers and swipe the page right off to the side and return back to my previous page. If I want to get back, I can swipe right back. It's really fantastic. In fact, I can swipe through my entire Safari browsing history just like that. Really smooth. Next up, I'd like to show you full screen apps. I'm going to launch iPhoto here, and you can see that iPhoto's adopted Lion's standard new full screen control. So I'll just take iPhoto full screen. It's a great way to look at my photo album. If I want to get back to my desktop, take 3 fingers, and I can just swipe iPhoto away and back to my desktop. But I didn't have to leave iPhoto and take it out of full screen. It's actually right there. Take a peek at it, go back, just like that. We love this so much that we made gestures accessible in exactly the same way. Swipe over to the left, and I have access to my dashboard. You can see Safari supports full screen as well. Let's go take our Safari window full screen. So now we have our dashboard over our desktop over here to the left. We have Safari, and of course, iPhoto's still there in full screen as well. You'll notice how Safari is making great use of all the available space on the screen for my content. But if I want to get at my bookmarks bar or my menu, just go to the top. You see they slide right out like that, really nicely. And when I want to exit full screen, I have a control right there in the upper right, animates right back out. Let's take a look now at Photo Booth. This is an app absolutely born to run in full screen. You can see I'm surrounded by the curtains of the photo booth, and in here I can experience some fantastic new face detection effects. So notice as I move, the birds actually track. That's right, it's the most important feature in Lion. And we can also use this face tracking technology to perform some targeted facial enhancements. For instance, I can finally have those big eyes that I've always hoped for. So I'm going to take a picture of that. So that's pretty cool. So playing around, yeah, that's great stuff. So you can spend hours at this. So full screen is fantastic, but of course Mac users love to do a lot of things at once, and that often means that they have a lot of windows. In fact, my desktop often looks a little bit more like this, right? I've got a lot going on. So how do I get across all of those different activities? Well, I just take 3 fingers, swipe up on the trackpad, and I'm in mission control. From here, I can get at any window I want. So if I want to get at iCal here, I click, it comes forward. Sweep back into mission control. Over to dictionary, same thing. And across the top, you see I have my dashboard, my desktop, my full screen apps. So I want to get to iPhoto, just click, it comes forward from anywhere, 3 fingers up, and I'm back in mission control. I can also quick look my windows. If I just hit spacebar here, get a better look at my calendar, or take this pile of preview windows and spread them apart with a little gesture up. But you know what's really awesome is the way that multiple desktop spaces are now integrated right into mission control. Just take my mouse up to the corner of the screen and a little space pops up. I click, I've just created a new space. And I can populate it by just dragging the windows I want to work with in that space, just like this. And I've set up a new desktop. It's really useful. I can swipe through the spaces, of course, here in Mission Control, go over to my desktop, and if I want to then take even an entire app and all of its windows and create a new space for that, I can click on the preview icon, drag the whole pile to the corner. I've just created another space. And the spaces are just as easy to clean up as they were to create. I just click, they delete, and windows fly right back to my original desktop space. So that is Mission Control. Thank you very much.